Pin comment. There we go. Okay, that makes me happy. Hi, Maria. Okay, let me go back and say hello to people. Pato Luna, hello. Emma, hi. Ludmilla, just, you know who you are. You said hola. Hola, ¿cómo está? Okay, today is going to be a Q&A. And sorry, I need to block somebody, but I lost her name. Okay. Today's going to be a Q&A about nail care, and to be totally honest and upfront, I am not here to sell you anything. I am here to teach you whatever you need to know about nail care. And so let's get into this. Who has a question? Hi from Puerto Rico. Hi. Nails by Megan. Hello. Mexico, Connecticut. Oh, you guys, this is Nova Scotia. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Okay. It's hard to see some of these names. Sorry. It says, I'm so ready for the next semi-annual sale. That is coming mid-July. And we're super excited. We've got some really cool stuff for you guys. Hi from Germany. So we just received our glass file. You are going to love that. Hello from Brazil, New York. Oh, Maggie says you saved my nails, honestly. I believe you. That's so exciting. Okay, let's get into those questions. Pumpkin Patch Slimes, what a great name, says, why do my nails curve on one side but not on the other? Is the other side just taking its time to curve? That is such a great question, and what a fun way that you asked it. Our nails curve, and it's based on, so here's mine, and I have a very strong C curve. I think you guys can see this. Some people have much flatter nails, and so what determines the shape and the curve of your nail is your matrix, the size of your matrix, and then also your fingertip bone. That determines it as well. So, and if you have one nail like I do specifically, I don't know if we can see it. Can we see it? Kind of. It kind of doesn't do a nice curve there. It kind of cuts in. Anyway, that is because of back in school, you guys probably, I would bet you that at least 90% of you have a bone spur that happens right here, and it's from writing all through elementary school, middle school, high school, and into college. Nobody writes papers anymore. I'm totally dating myself. Anyway, so more people spend time typing. So I wonder if the newer generation is going to have this bone spur that happens right here. And what that is the body's response to all of that friction from the pen and the pencil is to deposit more calcium there because of the intense irritation. So it's a little bit like a callus, but different. So this is the body's response of dealing with all that wear and tear, and then because it's right next to the matrix, that's going to affect the way the nail grows out with your matrix. And so this side, gosh, I'm totally messing this up, but this side over here way curves in and it wants to break more, so it's just a pain in the tuchus. Okay. Nails by Neff, does lemon juice really strengthen your nails? No, and it's a liquid. So one of the things that I write about at my website, nailcarehq.com, is that there are, and I've written over 80 articles about nail care, and almost, it seems like almost every one I'm talking about how damaging water is to your nails, because your nails have the ability to soak up 1/3 their weight in water. And there's only two substances that can go through the nail plate, and that is body oil and water. And so lemon juice is predominantly water, so it's going to get in there and it's going to swell up the nail layers and it's going to push them apart. And what that does is then it leads to peeling, because all of those layers, and we have about 50 layers, all of those layers start to poof apart, and then when they dry they will sort of go back, but they don't really glue themselves back together. So lemon juice can whiten your nails a little bit, but in terms of the health of it, strengthening it, nope, nail oil does that. From the Netherlands, hello. What do I think of glass cuticle pushers? Are they damaging or safe to use? I just did a video, and I'm pretty sure it's up, about how to properly remove the cuticle, which actually happens to be the dead skin on your nail plate. The entire planet's been taught wrong that all of this skin right down here is not the cuticle. It's the proximal fold of the eponychium. Say that 3 times fast. Anyway, and so this is live skin. It's one of our very, very important of 4 guardian seals, and it helps keep bacteria and germs out from the matrix. So, and that's where your nail cells grow. And a lot of people are like, where do they come from? Well, it's right back here. So in terms of, so I wrote an article about, or I actually, I've written articles, but I did the video, which you should be able to find if you go to YouTube and you look up, so it's YouTube/C/My Bliss Kiss, or Bliss Kiss. I don't remember because one of my team members set it up. But anyway, and you'll see that there of how to properly remove the cuticle. And my favorite tool is this one. It has a larger scoop on one side, you can kind of see that, and then it has a smaller one on the other side. And then I explain how to properly remove the cuticle, because what you're trying to do is actually remove just the skin that's on the nail plate. That's your cuticle. And nail polish doesn't stick to skin, which is why we want to properly remove it. So I use this tool because it's perfect. It fits the nail perfectly, and you're just basically going to slide back. So there is no pushing and shoving, because that will actually damage your nail and cause those white spots that happen, and those are just bruises. And so I like this tool because it's very, very easy to just slide it without damaging your nails. But definitely look up the video so you can see exactly how I do it. What do I think of the gel dip system? I don't know about a gel dip system. I do know about the acrylic dip systems, and those are becoming very popular. But again, the most important thing with any product, whether it's nail polish or gel or acrylic, is proper removal. And so especially with nail polish, here's the one that people don't really understand. And you wonder why you get all of this staining that happens when you're removing your polish. Well, okay, so polish comes in a bottle and it's liquid because it has solvents in it. Okay, then those solvents evaporate out, and then all that's left is the ingredients, the resins and the pigments, and the resin traps all the pigments. And then so then that cures. It's really not drying. It's kind of it's hardening because the solvents have all evaporated out. So the way to liquefy this again then is to apply acetone, which then starts to dissolve it. And then what happens is most of us are taking a cotton ball and we're scrubbing it and we're rubbing it and trying to do all this. Well, what are you doing when you release those pigments in the solvent? You're releasing those pigments and you're scrubbing them into the top surface layers of your nails. So it's very important that when you're removing your polish, that you put a soaked cotton ball on it, like not a whole cotton ball, but I like to rip apart the cotton ball and pull it into pieces. Soak that, let it sit, and then let it sit for anywhere from 1 minute to 3 minutes, depending on how many layers you have. And then you literally just take that cotton and just swipe like that, and the polish comes right off. And then another thing that we invented, I didn't invent it, but I discovered it, was if you take that cotton and then you apply a manicure clip to it and you hold that, it heats, your body heat heats up the acetone, and then it dissolves even faster. So you can literally, by the time I've start on one, get all the way around to this side, I can go back to this side and pull it off, swipe, off, swipe, off, swipe, off, swipe, off, swipe, done. So that's really, really fun and life-changing, life-changing. So I have a video on YouTube about that also. Okay. Maria, I'm currently letting your oil soak into my nails. Oh, that reminds me. One of our big bloggers, I don't remember, oh, I'm sorry. She'll let me know. She uses it. Oh, it's Nails by Nikki, I think. Anyway, Nikki, she uses, she'll do like a 3 to 5 minute kind of instant warm oil soak. So she'll apply her oil and on a little pad and then just clip that on and let it soak for a little bit. I also will do either an overnight hydration treatment with nitrile gloves, and you can even do it during the day, even just a couple of hours, like if you're sitting going through the mail or you're whatever, you're just sitting there for a few hours. You can do that. I like anytime I'm typing, a lot of times I can do that, and your nails will, and what you'll do is you take it off and your nails will be slightly transparent to the tips, which means that the oil's soaking all the way through the layers, and then your hands will feel soft like butter. Okay. Beauty by Glory. I'm hi from Pennsylvania. My nails are so weak, I hate them. I'm assuming that says hate. What can I do to have really strong nails? Most popular article on the website. So Google nailcarehq.com and strengthen brittle nails, and that will take you to my most popular article, and that explains how nail oil strengthens nails like nothing else does, because the body gives us the solution to healthy nails, and it is body oil. And you think about it, it's all on your skin, you get body oil, and it protects the skin. And so the oil, you know, your pink nail bed pumps up oil, the perfect blend of oil and moisture through the nail bed up into the nail plate and keeps it stronger. The problem is that once it leaves the nail bed and starts moving past, it's no longer being nourished with that perfect blend. And so what happens is those tips get white and dry out, and then they get brittle and they break, and then we're very unhappy. Okay, Galaxy. Hello, I butcher you guys' names and I'm so sorry. Could you please give me some advice on how to grow my nails out? Thanks. It's a great question. And if you Google nailcarehq.com and grow nails, you will find a few articles. But the biggest thing to understand is that your nails are always growing until you die. And so what we really, really are wanting is them to stop breaking, because I wouldn't have nails like this if they were constantly breaking. So there's a few strategies that I use. One is my nail oil, and then the other is using 5 layers of polish, and that helps give me temporary strength. So it's a combination of many things, but the biggest thing is how to get them to stop breaking. So hopefully that helps you. And if not, if you guys have any questions, please email me at Anna, A-N-A, at myblisskiss.com, and I'm happy to answer your question. And if I'm not able to, then maybe I can probably answer your question here in a live session, which I'm doing every Thursday, or I'll be able to answer you by email if it's quick. But please realize, if I get 100 emails, it's really, really hard for me to get through all of those quickly and write articles. Oh, that's right. Happy nail polish day to everyone. Yes, 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 yes. This is the best day of the year, right? How do I grow my nails out? So that was Galaxy. Is that the same person or? Trying to remember. So again, if you want to grow your nails longer, for sure, go visit nailcarehq.com and strengthen brittle nails. and you will find that article. Maria says, I never take my cuticles off. Or you never, basically you never scratch, you're never scraping the cuticle off. Is that bad? It's not bad, only if you get a lot of chipping. If your polish chips a lot around your cuticle line, then that's because the polish is not sticking to the skin. And so then it starts to chip, especially when you're in the shower. What do I do about rough, thick skin on my fingers, mostly my index fingers? The first thing to do is use jojoba wax ester based nail oil. And the interesting thing is that I created our oil because I'm allergic to almonds, and I did all of this research. All of the nail care or nail oil, cuticle oils on the market have almond oil in them, which is fine. It's an okay oil. It's a whole lot less expensive, and it doesn't work quite as well. But anyway, so I had done all of this research, and I knew jojoba was so important because under a microscope, it looks almost identical to body oil. So if body oil can come up through your skin and your nails, then jojoba can go back in, and it really, really does. So the interesting thing is now how many companies have jojoba as their first ingredient. So when you get this rough skin on your fingers, so what I want you to do is, everybody right now, take your fingers and push on them. So like your index finger and your thumb, push on them and watch what happens to the skin in next to this sharp part of your nail. Okay, so you've got this nail edge, and now we're pushing it, and the skin is getting cut into your nails. Okay, so what's the body's response when the skin is getting irritated? It's kind of like when you were on the monkey bars as a kid and you got all of these calluses here, or if you do gardening with tools and stuff, you get calluses here, and that's the body's response to protect it so that you're not getting blisters all the time. So same thing right here, we're getting these calluses and we can't do anything about them, and if you clip them down, the body's response is, well, now we're getting more damage, so we make more layers, and so we end up kind of shooting ourselves in the foot because it's not helping the body, and the body's telling you, don't do this. So what the best thing to do is to oil that skin, get it soft, and then if you're still having troubles, then you can take a crystal nail file very, very, very carefully and just sand a little bit down. It's just like using a pumice stone on your heels and getting that dry skin off your heels, but you want to do it very, very gently, because if you take down too much layers of skin, what's the body going to do? Make more. So I hope that helps. How do you get rid of cuticles? That one you definitely want to go see the video that I did on YouTube. For sure, go look at that one, and it's just I think when you get to YouTube, you can type in Bliss Kiss and remove cuticles, and it should show up. Maggie says, I soak my nails in Simply Pure and they get so happy and relaxed. So that's a nice way to say that. Learning about how bad water is for my nails has changed my life. I know, me too. I mean, that's how I got started on this whole thing, was I wanted to know how to get my nail polish to stop chipping in the shower. Seems like such a simple little thing. And it took, I kind of that's how I fell into this world of nail care and nail art and nail myths and all kinds of stuff. So the biggest thing for me was when I finally put 2 and 2 together, and it took for me finding Doug's book, Nail Structure and Product Chemistry, and you can see it's well loved. This is the source of my articles. I base everything on what's in this book, and then also what's in Doug Schoon's video series called Face to Face with Doug Schoon. And I'm so blessed to have become friends with him, but it took me a long time to finally of like reading his book and writing articles, and all of a sudden the light bulb went off because when I was in the shower, I was like, oh, look at that. That whole underside was not protected. So water was going through from the underside and getting all the way through and breaking the nail polish to the nail plate bond, and hence that's why they kept chipping. So water, very bad thing for your nails. It leads to peeling, and then the what was I gonna say? Come on, come back. I've lost it. It'll come back to me, but that's okay. Question, yellow nails aren't actually a bad thing, right? Because I personally don't think they are, but all of my friends make fun of me and say that it's gross, and that should let, oh, typo right there, and that you should let them breathe. Oh, it just makes me mad. Nails don't have lungs. There is no breathing to be done. Your nail plate is 100% dead, just like your hair is dead. So, and basically the only time that your nail cells are alive is when they are back, when it's back being created in the matrix. And for those of you who have a lunula, which is that moon, that is the exposed part of your matrix. So you can tell that they're a whitish color. And as soon as they leave the matrix, then they turn clear. And then that's where the nail bed keeps nourishing them and keeps the nail plate from getting all hard and crispy on your fingertips, because that would be bad. We need them to scratch and to poke and grab and do all of those things that we do with our hands. And so the nail plate takes care, or the nail bed takes care of the nail plate that way. But they're dead. So there is no breathing. And one of the things that I teach, since water is so damaging, that the very best thing you can do is wear polish, because that helps slow down the whole water absorption process, which is why I recommend 2 coats of a ridge filling base coat, and those you wrap all the way under to the underside right at your finger. You get it, try not to get it on your fingertips, but if you do, it's not the end of the world, and it will come off in the shower because polish doesn't stick to skin. So the biggest thing you can do is, so the 2 coats of base coat, 2 that are wrapped all the way around, 2 coats of color, and then another, wonderful top coat, and wrap that all the way around too. So now what have we done? We've created 5 layers on top and 3 layers on the bottom. And so your nail tips are protected by 8 layers of polish. That's a very good thing. So don't breathe. And nail polish staining, that if they get the yellow tint, that is just compliments of a little bit of the pigment. It just stains the top couple of layers, and the very worst thing you can do is buff that off. If you're trying to make them white or transparent, or basically pink, if you're trying to make it look pink again, then what you're doing is you're filing off those top layers, and you're making your nails thinner. And if you think you've only got like about 50 layers, and you sort of buff off 3 or 4, and then the next time you're buffing off 3 or more, all of it doesn't take very long for all of a sudden your nails to be paper thin, and then they're going to start breaking. So yeah, tell your friends that to just go read my articles, because they don't understand. Okay. Okay, sorry. Somebody says, I love that tool for your cuticles as well. It's a great tool. Oh, it's so nice of you guys to be chiming in what the YouTube channel is. So it is Blisskiss. So it's youtube.com/C, and I guess that means channel /Blisskiss. And that's where you'll find all the art, the videos. And I can't believe that we've got like almost 50 videos up. And also, so you guys know, all of these are recorded. And so it takes James about 5 or 6 days to, well, not that whole time, but it takes him a little bit to get them edited and all that stuff and then uploaded. And these hour-long ones take quite a bit of time, So, yeah, YouTube doesn't like to upload them fast. It can take like 4 hours. Somebody says, thanks for mentioning it's not gel products that cause problems. It's the removal process where most fail. Gel is a really, really great product. One of the problems that a lot of people are having with gel is that it's not curing properly, and that's because a lot of people are using, quote, universal lamps, and there's no such thing. Doug talks about that all the time. So it's very important that when a company has come out with, like, let's say for shellac, they've come out with a curing lamp, and then they have their gels. And the reason for that is because they've formulated the ingredients of the gel to work with the curing lamp. And then you're going to get the best cure. It's as soon as you start mixing gels, which a lot of people like to do, as soon as you start mixing the gels and the lamps, you're going to potentially have more lifting issues or it not completely curing. And then when you remove it, then you can have white spots and that the white spots can be reduced by using nail oil. But so, you know, gel is one of these things. It's not as easy as nail polish. So it takes some educating. And for anybody who really wants to learn about the gels and how to do them right, I would recommend Doug Schoon's latest book. Hold please. So I gotta have everything up high. Anyway, the latest book of this one, Face to Face with Doug Schoon. And this is about your products. So this is about gels and acrylics. And then in about a week, he's coming out with one that's all about the nails, just nail questions. And of course, I'll probably know most of it, but it's great fun to read all that. So anyway, any tips for growing out nails? Yes. I talked about that a little bit earlier. Go to nailcarehq.com and type in strength and brittle nails. Also type in how to grow nails faster, and you'll find some stuff there. Maggie says, you taught me how to get polish off quickly, and it saves time and nails, and it also stops you from scrubbing. So you're not driving those pigments into your nail plate. So somebody said, okay, you did mean acrylic dip, and you're right. I was just reading about those, and they're a whole lot easier. Some people really, really love them. My biggest concern is that as your nail tips get longer, the acrylic is a hard product. And so it is not going to want to bend when you whack your fingers into the kitchen counter or a door handle or all of that. And so there's the potential, the longer your tips are, that they're going to snap. And they very, very well may snap way back here. So just be careful. If you have acrylic, then what you really want to do is be more careful as you're going through life. What is the YouTube channel? youtube.com/C as in cat /BlissKiss. Can you file both directions with glass files? Great question. You can file both directions with any file. Doug Schoon did and I have an article about this. Just know that you guys, you can always go to Nail Care HQ or go to Google, because Google has like categorized or cataloged everything. So if you type in nailcarehq.com and any keyword in Google that you can think of, it will pull up the articles that I have that are related to that. So one of them, Doug Schoon, just recently, probably in the last 4 months, I think, he wrote that and he did some electron microscope photographs, which totally geek me out. Totally. I just love them. Anyway, he did some studies, you know, microscope pictures of, and unfortunately he didn't provide those, but the information was that it didn't matter whether you filed one direction. So when people say, oh, you got to file one direction, that doesn't mean one direction and that's it. That means one direction, 1, 2, 3, and then you go from the other direction, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I have been seesawing my entire life. It was so hard to learn to do it that way. And then he did this, you know, looked at pictures of nails that had been filed one direction only and one that they'd been seesawed back and forth. He saw no difference. No difference. That made me so excited. I was like, yay, I can go back to my normal way of doing it. I go back and forth and I get it done. And so I use, if I really, really want to take down length fast, I will use a 180 or a 240. Usually it'll come together. It's like one of those, the cardboard ones, and one side will be 180 and one side will be 240. And I use that to file down length really quickly. And then to sort of smooth off that edge really nicely, I'll use my crystal nail file, which is about 600 grit. So, and the higher the grit, the finer the nail file. Don't ever use 100 grit, because that means it's got big chunks of the sand filing surface, whatever it is. And those are only for removing the top surface for like filing down acrylic. That is the only time you would use 100 grit. So, for those of you interested in blogging nail polish swatches these days, what's the best advice you can offer those who need to change colors more than often than most of us? A lot of the bloggers, they use unt, however you pronounce it. It's the popular one right now. I still have not tried it. I have 2 bottles, but I haven't tried it. But everybody swears by that one. So I definitely need to try it. I bought a nail product and it has sodium borate and cetyl alcohol. Do you know what that is? Maria, I would look up those ingredients. I can't tell you what those exactly are because I haven't memorized all the chemicals. I am not a scientist. And by the way, water is a chemical, just so you guys know. Everything is a chemical. We do not need to be afraid of chemicals. So I would have to, one, know what the product is, and this is usually what happens, is somebody asks me about a product and then I go look up the ingredient list, and if it's stuff I don't know, then I will look up each ingredient, and I usually rely on, actually, surprisingly, Wikipedia has really, really good information. As a side, I tend to stay away from the sites that want to tell you everything, just about everything that you use is going to cause cancer. Because I'm pretty darn sure that the air we breathe is going to cause cancer, and the water, and you guys everybody's so worried about the fumes from nail polish and from acetone, and there is less damage from that than all of the off-gassing of the carpets and the paints and the cabinets and everything in your house. Everything is off-gassing, which means it's just sending stuff into the air, which is why people who have like dust allergies and things, it's so important for them to have this, as much as possible, this more sterile environment. And they look for much more eco-friendly kind of things. But polish and acetone is not going to cause cancer. It's I could go on and on and on and on, but the house you live in causes more problems. So I hope that helps you guys. Can't wait to try our products. You're gonna love them. Love Bliss Kiss products. And the reason is because I created all of these products and I found them because I wanted to solve my own problems. That's why every product that we do has solved our own problem. Except the fun one is the little highlighter, the little nail polish highlighter. That was just adorable. I just had to do it and offer that. It's very, very fun. I had a friend who had bad acrylic remover, and that nail tech just ripped off the tips. Her natural nails were ruined. I know. This is the problem with all of the really, really cheap salons. I won't say that it's all, that's not nice to say that it's all Asians, but so many of them are Asian, and they really don't have certificates from reputable schools, and so like a lot of them, they are the next person's trained by somebody else who's doing it, and they've all been like, they're learning from other people, and so they don't understand the changes that have happened with acrylics and gel, and they're not getting the continuing education that your really good nail professionals are going to have. And so they're still under that old premise with the old acrylic technology that you have to grind down so much of the nail plate in order to get it to bond. And that's just not the case anymore. Basically, all the nail professional has to do is just kind of rough up that surface and remove the gloss. That's really all they're doing. And then the acrylic is able to bond to the nail plate. So I'm really sorry about your friend, but do know that her nails will grow out they usually replace themselves in about 4 months. So from start to finish is 4 months. And so they will get better. And a lot of people who are recovering from bad acrylic removal love our oil, and then it's very, very important that they wear several layers of polish to help protect the nail plate and thicken it so it doesn't hurt so bad. What causes parts on your nail to be translucent at times? If I'm understanding that correctly, your nail bed, which is the pink part that you can see, that is keeping the nail transparent. It is the perfect blend of oil and moisture that the nail plate, or everybody screws up nail plate and nail bed all the time. It's very easy to do. But the nail bed is pushing that perfect blend of oil up, and it causes the nails to be transparent. And then, like I was saying earlier, once they grow past your tips, then they're no longer being nourished. They start to dry out, get brittle, and that's why they're white. And the entire world wants white nail tips, and I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't, because white nail tips are fragile. So, Pumpkin Patch Lives, do you have any tips, no pun intended, on how to make matte nails last? I don't know, because if I'm correct and you're asking about matte nail polish, I don't know, except other than the fact that matte nail polish is a whole different beast from a high gloss quick dry nail polish, because those ingredients in the resins and the nitrocellulose, those are there to keep to create this really nice thick barrier that's going to protect the color underneath. And so matte nail polish, top coat, whatever, it's different. It's just different ingredients. And so what I'm hearing from you is that it doesn't last as long. The only suggestion that I would have for potentially checking that out and trying would be to apply your regular top coat and then try the matte top coat on top of that and see if that helps. Staying away from water has helped you. Yes, it does. I love how you have sufficient patience to enthusiastically reiterate things until it sinks into your brains. Yes, and the reason that I'm really, really happy to do it is because, so many people are just today. There's 70,000. This was a statistics from a while ago. I should go look it up again. But 70,000 new people get on the internet every day. So you think about how many thousands and thousands of people are coming to Instagram for the first time today. And then they're stumbling on this per day. So I'm happy to reiterate and say it over and over. And those of you who have been on several of these, you'll start going, okay, she's saying the same old thing. I'll go away. But what's really nice is that since they are recorded, James has, like, every time I move on to a different subject, he puts the timestamp on the video, so that if I answered a bazillion things you've already know about, but you can go scan those and see if there's something that I talked about that you didn't know, and you can zip right to that spot. He's so smart. Can you file both directions with a glass file? Yes. The skin around, somebody says this, how do we protect the skin around our nails in water? Around your nails, don't worry about that. Just when you get out of the shower, just apply some oil to your nails and rub that in, and your nails and your skin will love it. The skin, somebody says the skin around your nails is called the cuticle. No, it's not. It's the dead skin on your nail plate is the cuticle. The skin that is right here that everybody thinks is the cuticle is the proximal fold of the eponychium, and it is bonded to the nail plate to help keep germs and bacteria from getting into the matrix, which is where the nail cells grow. Oh, my best advice to you, to somebody, has been to treat your nails at all times as if your nail polish is still wet. I don't know that I've ever said that, but that is a great, great, great. Yes, that's great. And that's true, because especially if you're wearing dark colors, it's a whole lot easier. You pay attention, you see the colors, and so you're more careful about where you're putting your hands and how you're grabbing things and how are you scratching yourself and that kind of stuff. And zippers, zippers, zippers. Several people are asking YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/BlissKiss. Can you ever show us how you apply your nail polish with 5 layers? Have I done a video about that? I feel like I have. But it's not hard. So, no, I've written an article about it. It's called, so go to nailcarehq.com and Google Fab 5 wrap. And that's where I talk about. So basically all you're gonna do is take your base coat and your 2 layers of ridge filling base coat, because you wanna fill in the grooves between the ridges, because the ridges are the thickest part of your nail plate, so you don't wanna buff those down. So 2 layers of your your favorite ridge filling base coat, and you're gonna wrap that all the way around to the undersides. If your nails are short, you just cap the edge. But capping the edge is just sliding the polish along the edge, and then wrapping it is going all the way underneath. And so you do your 2 layers and wrap it all the way underneath. 2 layers of color coat, and do not wrap that because it's pain in the tuchus to get it out. I did that one time when the Louis Vuitton, you know how the Louis Vuitton shoes have the red underneath. It was popular for a while of doing one color on top and then the red on the underside. And I did that once, and I cursed and I swore, and I cursed and I swore again, because it was so hard to get that red out, and I basically had to give up and just let it grow out. So anyway, to continue with that is 2 colors of your color, 2 colors of your color, 2 coats of your color, and then take your top coat and wrap it all the way around. So the way I do it is I will polish, flip my hand over, polish the underside, and then I will run along the edge for that capping part. Oh, this is a good one. Gracie. Nail art by Gracie. Do you have any tips on nails chipping? I always have my nails in a square shape and the corners always break off. Yep. Don't have squares. Sorry, that's gonna be a heartbreaker. But yeah, I can't do squares either, besides the fact that I would impale myself with these sharp corners. If they're constantly breaking off on the corners, that means that the way you're moving through life doesn't support squares. So, and I've noticed that people with much shorter nails can do squares a lot better than people with longer nails. And so the reason that I have squivel is because I break off those corners also. So I just file that edge a little bit in towards the tip. I file that and then make it just slightly curved, and then I need to drink water. So just make it slightly curved and then take that off. And you technically could file that, keep the edge filed in, but then file this straight across, and you would have more of the look of squares. I wrote an article about how to do this, how to do squoval and square nails at nailcarehq.com. So Google that plus file nails squoval. You can file nails square and it'll show up. But the key is that if you can kind of notice, I'm gonna get close and hopefully it'll be in focus, but this cuticle line goes wonky. It goes up like this. So it's a natural tendency to kind of, like when we're filing our nails, to want to follow that cuticle line. But what happens if I was to do that and I was filing, I would be filing off in this direction. And then as soon as you flip your hand over, you would see it very, very crooked. So what I do is I go straight across using the tip of my finger as my guide from corner to corner. So I have pictures of all of that in the article so that it can help you. Hopefully that helps. Sorry for the bad news, that just ditch the squares. Either that or just sit around and eat bonbons all day. Is it better to apply cuticle or sorry. Remember I said I needed water? Is it better to apply cuticle oil before you use any nail polish remover and add more after and then oil? So yes, this is a great question. I use cheap kitchen oil around my skin before I start using acetone. And the reason I came up with this was because I started really looking at it. And you know, when we use pure acetone, and everybody's so afraid of acetone because it's so drying to your nails and it's so drying to your skin, and you get it all white and chalky. And I realized, you know what? Acetone is just stripping the oils from your skin and your nail plate. You can't help it, because acetone, even non-acetone removers, they dissolve lots of things, and they dissolve body oil also. So what I just realized was, if I just slather on a bunch of cheap kitchen oil, olive oil, canola oil, doesn't matter which one, slather that on, and then use your acetone, your skin will not be all parched and white and feel horrible. So I use that, then the nail polish remover, and then after that I oil for a little while, anywhere from 2 to 8 hours, or I'll do a quick hydration treatment kind of thing. And then before you polish, make sure you remove that surface oil and dust, because the oil collects dust, and remove that. And then lost my train of thought. And then put your oil on. So save the good oil for after you've removed it. Oh, that's where I was. Remove the surface oil with, I use a lint-free pad and rubbing alcohol, and then you're ready for your base coat. Maggie says, I only have a lunula on my thumb, index, and middle finger, but not on my pinkies or ring fingers. Any thought on why that happens? That is just the way you are. And most people, you cannot see their lunula, and that's because the lunula is the exposed portion of your matrix. And so you really don't want them. Everybody like covets, oh, I want beautiful moons, and blah, blah. No, you don't. No, you don't, because then that is a part of the matrix that is no longer covered with the thicker skin of the eponychium. That's what protects your matrix. And so when it's exposed, then it's not protected by the skin as much. And then when you whack it on a counter, you're going to end up bruising here. And then what happens is the skin cells do not turn transparent when they've been damaged. They stay white. And so then you end up with these little white lines that slowly grow out and go away. They're just bruises. So just having them on certain fingers, most people have them on their thumbs. They can see a little bit. Some people have a lot where you can see it. It's just the way you are. It's just the way you were born. Drink water and wear gloves to keep the water out. Yes. Can you please reiterate why it's not a great idea to nip tough skin at the cuticle area, the proximal fold, and the eponychium? Is a good one. Okay. So remember I was talking about this is the proximal fold of the eponychium. Okay, I'm going to describe it. It's a little gross when you really think about it. But okay, so you've got the eponychium here. You've got the matrix, and that's where your nail cells are growing. And the nail plate is growing out this way. And what it does, the nail plate has this death grip to the eponychium, and it basically rips out the bottom layer of the eponychium as it's growing. And so that is what's attached to your nail plate, and that's the cuticle. But what happens is that as that is growing out and ripping that skin, the proximal fold, that nice little tight band of skin here, gets pulled out with the cuticle because they're bonded really well together. And so it stretches out the proximal fold, and then people will release it because, or it naturally releases. But in the process, it's stretched out the proximal fold, and then when you release it, then you have this long, thicker piece of skin, which dries out really, really fast. And so since it's dried out, everybody wants to nip it. And it's like, well, no, don't do that. Because then what you're doing is when you remove that proximal fold, you are opening this area up so that germs and bacteria can get into the matrix. And anything that gets into the matrix or destroys parts of the matrix, it will ruin your nail forever. So we really, really want to be very, very careful. And so what I do and what I recommend, and it's in the videos that I've got on YouTube, is that what I do is with my fingernail, I push back that way. Not down, no, this way. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna just barely separate that proximal fold from that death grip that the cuticle has. Release that, keep it oiled, and that band of skin will stay nice and tight, and it will be a really, really good, powerful guardian seal. Is oil and moisturizer soaking okay? Oil, yes. Moisturizer, Moisturizer depends on if you are using, something that has a lot of water in it. So if you're talking about lotion, lotion with water and humectants and all of these different ingredients basically are trying to just create a water resistant barrier that then helps your body create oil, like your body is normally doing the oil and the moisture. And so what it's doing is creating this surface, but it rinses off and it feels slimy to me all the time. So I don't like water-based ones. That's why we came out with our lotion stick, because it does a way better job of that. So it just depends. It depends on what moisturizer you like. Somebody says, my mom once told me to let my nails breathe because they were yellow, and I went on a rant and told her nails don't have lungs. Yay, good job. That's awesome. Okay. Can I apply, oh, this is a good one, Maria says, can I apply a gel top coat on top of a regular polish, or will it affect the polish? It's such an interesting one, and I think I tried it a few years ago. And depending on the polish, and it can work. I don't know. I'm one of those kind of people who just likes to experiment on myself, and I would just try it and see what happens. Is a small scrubbing okay? You're gonna have to give me more information of what kind of scrubbing you're doing. Love my content. Thank you. I'm glad I can. Oh gosh. What are you wearing on your nails right now? I am wearing an Essie Chrome. And I was trying so hard to get some nail art done, and I'm lucky if I just get my nails polished a lot of times. So I think that's what, I don't remember which one. It's kind of this pale pink metallic, and with our luck, it's not available anymore. Have the Maybelline, whichever it is, peel off base coat, and it's fabulous because I live in the UK and postage is really expensive. Cool. I did not know that Maybelline had a peel off base coat. Oh, Maggie says, Unt under gel polish pops them right off when you're done with it. It won't. I don't wear gel polish without 2 coats of Unt underneath it. I gotta try that. I really, really do. You guys are so smart. This is what I love about the nail community is, like, think about, for those of us who are older, those of you who are 13 and younger, you're not gonna know. But like, when all we had for learning new things was the library or the bookstore. And we have access to this knowledge of everybody all over the planet. It is so freaking cool. Any ideas for growing nails? My stepmom is trying and has been trying for so long to stop biting them. Oh gosh. I am in the middle of doing this really, really in-depth sciencey kind of article. I've got 2 minutes left. So growing nails, Ella, take her to my website and have her start reading stuff. And the biting, so this article I'm doing explains why biting is so difficult. And we're doing a focus group right now. We're in the middle of doing that with nail biters and skin pickers. And so you guys are going to be excited to see the results of that. So that should be coming out over the next month or so. Okay, I have a minute and a half left to have a Dadder Day joke for us. Donna's sitting here waiting patiently. No, it's not Dadder Day. It's got to be Saturday. So yes, we've got a whole bunch of them. Corey is having a blast with that. And so every Saturday we will be posting one. Okay, 1 more minute left, you guys. Oh, some of you I can't answer because it's too long. A white stain on your nails is a bruise. Why do you have a thumbnail that is deeply corrugated? That probably means you have lots of ridges. That's okay. Google nailcarehq.com and ridges, and you'll find some good stuff. Oh my gosh, you guys are answering really great questions and I can't stay. 5 layers of polish would never dry on your nails. Well, depending on the humidity and whatever, but that's a good one. 5 layers of polish, painted very thin, and give yourself 5 minutes between each layer at least. I usually do it when I'm sitting there typing, and I'll do a layer, type for 10 minutes and come back and forth. Okay, 11 seconds. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to say bye guys, but I'm sorry I didn't get to your question. Email it. Hey, it's Anna. I've written over 70 nail care articles that you can find at nailcarehq.com. And if you're looking for products that will help you have longer, stronger nails, visit myblisskiss.com. Be sure to push the subscribe button and turn on notifications to get alerted when I publish more videos. This is Anna, signing off and sending you bliss.